Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I'm here with Meichtry, a professional golfer, and now just recently started doing some teaching before he starts to go out on Champions Tour and other things like that, trying for that. We were just talking about how important driving the golf ball is. Okay, so it's true or false? Drive for show, putt for dough.
False.
Okay.
I was told, gosh, in the early 90s, director of golf at Oakhurst Country Club in Clayton, California, Dick Huff, 2 clubs, driver and putter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And if you can drive the ball well and get it in play and be mediocre with your irons, which I kind of was for a lot of it, and putt well,
Yeah.
then it can open the golf course up.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly looking for your ball in trees and whatever, then now you're chipping out or you're out of position.
Right.
So I always put a premium on getting the ball in play.
So let's think about, just in a course strategy kind of point of view, let's think about the guy who is a good driver of the ball and a good putter, but then like kind of soft in between. So you hit a ball long and in the fairway, you hit it like to the fringe of the green, not awesome. But then like you 2-putt. You hit it again, the next hole you hit it into the fairway, long. Then this time like you did a little bit better than you probably should have, and you're like, 10 feet and it falls in. So you can play that way all day. Mm-hmm. But if you're the other way, where you're a great iron player, but like you're behind a tree and you're behind, it's like the course is not open to you.
It's taken a great iron player out of your hands because you're not in position to strike the iron, whether you're in the rough or in the trees, whatever.
So give us your driver keys. I saw when you were warming up something I've seen some other guy, Patrick Harrington, who I've played with before, do, where you're actually swiping the ground a little bit. So tell me about like your ideas with driver.
I like it on the up. I like probably 4 or 5 degrees on the upswing.
Okay.
Right. So it's shallow down here towards the middle, and it starts to move up. And I learned kind of organically on the Hooters tour for those 5 years how to hit driver a bunch of different ways, because I never had a 3-wood that I trusted. Yeah. So par 4s that were 3-wood, I was hitting driver off the deck, or pinching driver down, hitting 250, 260 drives.
I feel the same way. I mean, 3-wood's hard to hit.
It's hard to hit.
It's just a hard to hit club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I organically learned how to hit driver, and I still do. I hit it off the deck. Yeah, I hit it all kinds of different ways. So I'm able to take a golf course and match the trajectory and the spin rate and the speed with what the fairway is asking for, right? So it's not just, today's equipment. I struggled through the transition of today's equipment because everything was high on the face, high launch, low spin, and straight, which sounds great, but for me it just felt hard off the face, right? And I still like to feel the golf ball, like Paul Azinger, a little bit lower from the middle down versus where the sweet spot is the middle, maybe a little higher.
Not designed for that though, no.
No, yeah. So I generally tee the ball a little bit lower than most, and my ball flight, and when I'd go down to the Callaway, when they'd get new drivers out, we'd look at the numbers that I would put up, and they'd say, these are the numbers we're trying to get our guys into, right? So, and I'm doing it with a generation or 2 older driver, so they'd say, there's nothing we can do for you. Get out. I'm like, perfect, that's what I want to hear, right? Yeah. So I never moved through a lot of drivers, and I just pick one that was close enough to what, felt good, and then I just learn it. Right, rather than chasing equipment, if it felt good enough, and I didn't care too much of what the numbers would say. Right. I think that's where, today's information handcuffs us a little bit, because I've had students that get great numbers indoor and they come out here and it doesn't look like that, right? Yeah. They'll spin too much or too low, or I've got these big, strong high school kids that they get fitted into a stiff. Right. I'm like, wow, look at that thing going. So,
right.
So anyway,
let's see some, Eric, and just go us through, like, if you're coming out here and you want to work on your driver before a tournament. So let's just hit some shots for us and go through some of your thoughts.
So I like it wide. I like it wide and a little shallow. like it away. I like it connected, moving together. So, you know, I'll have students feel like this, real stiff, right? Just to feel the club in front of us, because so much with the longer shaft and less loft, if we get that thing too far away from us up here and we're coming down trying to get it back in front of us, it's too late, right? Because we're trying to get here and go. So I'll have them just go here and there and even hit some shots like that, just so we can feel the club in front. And again, not caring of the result, because I just want to feel it in front of me. So I like to have the driver in front of us, and then getting it timed up, a little bit shorter swing.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I like it. I like my driver left to right primarily.
Just a small fade.
Yeah.
What is the spin rate on a shot like that?
It's around 22.
Oh, okay, so still low. Okay.
Yeah, still low. Yeah. So with me, with my strong grip and a shut face, I come through and I'll start letting that club go about here where it starts to launch up. So right in through here, I'm gonna look like this, where we're still getting like a Ryan Carter who's pushing, and I saw your thing with the pads against the wall and going this way. I'm letting it go a little bit. And I think AJ shared with me, and I think you touched on it too, Mike Malaska, where he sees that right hand move this way a little bit, right?
More of a spanking,
rather
than a twisting.
More than rotating. Mm-hmm. So, you know, with what I like to teach my students is having that face rotate with the body rather than it rolling over. Right.
So like if your spine is this much, right? So now the face angle is on the spine, and as it hits the ball, now it's still on the spine. It's just not more than that, and it's also not less than that either.
Yeah. So by getting it here and to here, we can start to feel it on us, right?
So it would look a little closed here, but it's actually square to the arc of it, and then same thing here, it's square to the arc. Okay.
Yeah, so I like to teach as few moving parts as possible. So we start to strip things away with rotating the face and getting too much hinge in here, right? We can build those in as needed, but the foundation of moving this thing up the plane and back down is with as few moving parts as possible, right?
Okay, so I'm going to try that, Eric. Because the thing that I've seen is I get faster club head speed than a lot of my pro friends and things like that, but my efficiency or smash factor, you know, my actual ball speed coming off the face is not close. So, but I have noticed I had another guy come out, and he was having me do this kind of drill here to be real solid in this area, because I think I get a little soupy through.
Right.
So I'm just going to try to hit only like 40 yards or something here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it all connected. There you go.
Okay.
And I see that as you explain. I see that right hand getting a little this way, getting this club to pass this left side. Right. I like that left side to lead as much as possible. At some point, everything's going to spend here. This will go, but if we get that right side involved on the way down, it'll pass that left side, tending to roll that face over a little bit. Okay. Right? I like the trail arm to trail the lead arm as we're going through it and moving.
Oh, not cross it over
Not
early.
cross it over.
Okay.
That's when we get that face rotating to.
Felt a little better.
Yeah, that was already better. I saw that left side lead.
That was better.
Yeah.
Okay, so then how can I build that into my swing with a little bit speed now?
Just keep moving it up.
Oh, okay.
Just keep moving it up a little bit higher, a little bit higher. There you go.
Yeah, I felt
if
great.
we look at building something, changing a component, I like to keep it small. Right, so let's say we start you with working on this. I want to bring you down to about 30%, right? And we see if all the components are working together the way we agreed that it's going to be best. And then it's like, hey, this looks really good. Let's go up to 40 or 45. Hey, this looks really good. Everything's staying together the way we want it. So we go up more, and we want to build it all the way up to 100%, right? And then we bring it back down, and we play from a place. I play from about 80 to 85%, right?
So show me your, like your tournament swing, like your 80, 85%. Actually, let's do it the other way. Show me, like, if your body's up for it, give us like 100% swing.
Okay.
Okay. So
my 100%, I'll go.
Do you ever use that in competition?
Very little.
Oh, okay.
I put, again, a premium on in play. So if we go to the courses at Long Beach, there might be maybe the 10th hole at El Dorado. I'll try to let it go a little bit. That's the only way I can get to that hole in two, is if I smash it.
Yeah. 18 at El Dorado, do you hit it as hard as you can?
No.
Oh, really?
No,
Okay.
just take it up the left side and let it fall a little bit to the right. It doesn't need, I'm going to get there.
Yeah, right.
So
it's the difference between like a 6-iron and a 5-iron or something. Yeah, right.
So if I go 100%, the misses start to increase.
Yeah, what are you getting out of that? Yeah.
A club?
Yeah, right.
I don't need it, right? I don't care if I'm 220 hitting a hybrid. I'm going to get there. So I don't have to step on it. But a hole like number 10, I can only get there if I step on it. And if I do get a little bit out of position, then it's a par 5. I can find my way to a wedge, and I'm still in position.
Okay, so show us 100.
So 100, I'll go a little forward in the stance. I'll go a little wider base, so I'll get a wider arc, and I'll wait on it up here a little bit. That gives a little bit of time for this to get moving. So I'm moving this into it. And
You're almost feeling more of a pause up top?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the length of it will be a little bit taller. The width is wider. My base is wider because it's a bigger arc, right? So it needs that support. So I'll have a little bit more speed, but I'm just changing the launch conditions. So I can get, just a higher launch.
Oh, you killed it.
So it all depends on what the golf hole is asking for.
Now show us like a regular, like a regular stock driver. Like, so now this would be more 80, 85% effort.
Yeah, again, usually a little lower teed. I'm just trying to position it, right? It's like going to the grocery store and the bank, and you're just strategy to get in play, strategy to maximize your time and efficiency to get downtown, do your errands, and get back home so you can get on with your day. So, so I'm putting myself in position to attack the next shot.
That's awesome too. Now, yardage-wise, what do you think the difference is between those two? They went on the same exact line.
I'm usually about 112 mile an hour club speed, which is kind of lowish tour average. I'm in the air for about 285 because my smash factor is 1.5, 1.51. So I'm efficient on the face with low speed,
jealous.
right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's, for me.
So your ball speed is 169, 170?
Yeah, in the high 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
it's it's more, for me, it's more efficient than speed.
Oh, okay.
And today's instruction and equipment is all speed driven. How fast can we get? Well, I'm only going to get faster if I can maintain efficiency.
When that usable speed, right?
Yep, because I don't want to just be fast. And I see guys that are fast, and yeah, they can hit it a ton.
Yeah.
But they can hit it a ton when it's going a little bit off. And for me, for my eye and my style, I like it in play.
Okay, so I'm going to get in there, and so because you just mentioned something that we've worked on the channel a lot recently, is smash factor and getting better smash factor. And I'm going to pull a thing out here. I don't know how accurate this thing is, but I like using it just because I know for me, I know what the numbers usually are on this thing.
Right.
So actually hit another one for us, Eric. We'll put you on the spot here. Yep. Yeah, there you go. That's with the range ball too. All right, so yeah, that's 1.49 on the smash.
And I felt it.
And you can feel that it wasn't quite
Yeah.
151. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm gonna hit one. See, this thing runs a little low because that said you were 156 on the ball speed.
Sure.
So I think this thing is about 10 miles an hour left, or maybe 8. Plus that's a little low, plus a real golf ball rather than a range ball altogether. So I usually hover about 10% off of what you have here or more. Okay. Okay. Oh, all right, forget it. Either your lessons are amazing or that was an anomaly, because that was 149 smash, but I haven't gotten on this thing in 2 years of using it.
I did at a gym across town. They were setting up a golf gym, so it was an indoor thing with guys from Crank Golf.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So one of the long drive guys came in, and it was a 5-degree triple X 48-inch right driver.
Yeah.
We're hitting it into the net.
Yeah.
And so the only way I can get this thing airborne is if I have a tee really high.
Right.
I've got it way up in my stance, right? So I got it way up there, teed high, super wide base, and I'm even going backwards, and then I'm only going about this far, and I'm coming into it, moving, I stop, and this thing starts to throw to get 5 degrees, to get to at least 10 or 11, right? And I'm
be behind it and kind of semi-flip at it.
And flip at it.
Yeah.
So I was getting it 335 in the air with 117 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Ball speed was 174, and my smash factor over and over was 1.52.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So the guy who owned the driver, the long drive guy, he was 127 club speed, 197 ball speed, and smash factor of 1.4849. He couldn't get it within 10 yards of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, until he got the smash factor, and then he'd hit it 40 past me.
Let's see another one.
Right.
Now, what do you think are some of the keys to getting people more efficient on their smash factor?
The plane.
The plane.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of guys that are swiping this way.
We
And
see
it's
a
kind of
lot
like a cut shot in ping pong or something.
Yeah, we see a lot of things going off the plane where this left arm starts to move away this way, and then shallowing out this way. Mm-hmm. So I have this shaft and this club head wandering around the plane.
Well, that's a huge thing. That's one of the top search for things on Instagram and YouTube is shallowing the shaft.
Yeah.
People can overdo that someday.
I think so, and it drops underneath.
Behind.
So
It's
how are we
stuck.
going to get this out here and smash it from too far back here? We can repeat any motion and make it ours. Yeah. So whether it's working this way and this way or working this way, we can make it happen. I've seen and learned that if I keep a stable base, and I keep as few moving parts as possible, and I keep them all synced up, and I keep my feet stable and quiet, then I keep my center nicely supported. Yeah. I can move this way, get this thing up the plane, let it fall down here, change directions, find that bottom and let it go without it moving around and hoping I get there 1 or 2 out of 10 times.
That's the thing that I noticed on YouTube when you watch the highlights to, I think, 2014 highlights for when you won the Long Beach Open, and you see you're swinging at the tournament, that I notice is you look, and like when I see an amateur swinging, and even myself, like kind of see like a lot of stuff's moving. Yeah. And you, it's like I could almost put like a little box around your torso, and it's like there, stable. And you can just imagine how consistent that could be. Yeah. So what is that combination of being really stable, but then also being like athletic to hit it hard?
Just allowing for things to happen at the right time. Okay, so when I go up, I'm getting this club. If I want this much power out of whatever club, and if I'm looking for, let's say a pitching wedge to go 80 yards, I'm going to assemble the right amount of energy with the hinge points of the wrist and elbow, whatever's got to move for whatever flight and speed I want. I'm going to assemble it and change directions, right? So I'm allowing, if I want to go 120 with a wedge, I'm going to assemble it and change directions. If I'm going to hit wedge 160, I'm just going to get more, I'm going to get up here and I'm going to change directions.
Right.
So when it changes directions, I'm allowing it to fall a certain distance, and then it gets picked up. And then from about here to the ball is where the speed happens, because this is pulling away from the club head in my hands. They're going to speed up. So when
a lot of people are trying to get the speed up all the way up here.
Right away.
Yeah.
Right. So, and if they're off plane somewhere, then a compensation needs to be made, which requires effort. When we got effort, we're involved, right? So with me, it looks effortless. I'm still giving effort because my body is in motion, but it appears to be less effort, like you witnessed at Long Beach, because I'm allowing for things to happen where I don't have to be involved to get them. My involvement is, how far do I want this wedge to go, with what spin rate, what trajectory and shape. It's like, okay, I want it to go that far, so I set up for that, and my involvement is assembling the necessary energy.
So
in
you're
the
like,
club
ooh,
head.
right here feels like 95 yards, or you're like, oh, right here feels like 74 yards.
Yeah. And then it's not a clock system. It's just whatever it feels like.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm
like, if I was throwing, I would just be like, okay, if there's a couple, like the end of this hill would be about there, and like 15 yards past that would be about there. There's no real thought in how, and the backswing is bigger. There's no thought in it other than, but all my focus is there.
You're responding to stimuli out there.
Yeah.
Right. So when we play catch, we're this far, right? And this is all it requires is I back up. There's, a little bit more in that arm moving because I want to get it to you.
Right.
Right? So there's no thought, there's just a response. So yeah, things are moving more. Well, how did I learn to do that? 50 years of throwing a golf ball, right? Throwing something, just knowing how to give it the necessary energy. So same with golf. I've been playing a long time, so I've got the necessary motions to do what needs to be done.
All right, let's see a couple shots here. Wake up. Let's see if we can get you into that illegal range, that 151, 152 range. Sounded great. Now that's probably the machine, but that one did fall off on the smash. Did you feel any different?
Yeah, it felt a little weird.
Okay.
Not too bad. But again, for me, it's going to be in play, and I'm going to have a shot.
Now let's do this, Eric, because every once in a while in here we find a real golf ball. Yep, that's a real golf ball. So let's see if that makes a big difference. It's a good one. Yeah, 147 on the smash, so it came back up from what it was. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so now let's talk about like fair. I want to see that shot you used to hit on the Hooters tour. So your 3-wood replacement shot, so just like 260 on a tight hole.
Yeah.
So walk us through how you would do this.
So it just goes low, right? So it's teed low.
Yeah.
And I'd let it come down, and it's just a little more armsy. So I'm not launching it up so much as I am.
Okay, so before the body kind of launches you up, and this one you're kind of.
Yeah, staying on top of it. So it still falls down here, but then I turn with it this way, where the arms are flattening out coming here. So the flight's down, the speed's down.
Yeah.
It's a little more armsy. It usually will tend to go a little left to right.
Do you choke up on the grip?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, that's a cool shot.
So number 11 at El Dorado.
Yeah.
This was all down the left side, and you pinch it down there.